Good afternoon and welcome to this Tuesday, November 24th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Brett Carruthers alongside Renee Simcoe and Charles Tweed. In today's news, we'll bring you the stats on violent crime being on the rise in Brandon and news from the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Convention. And Renee will be in with sports. Renee, I understand the Wheat Kings welcomed the second place team in the Eastern Conference to Westman Place on Friday.
That's right, Brett. The Wheaties had their A game on display and cruised to a victory against the Calgary Hitmen. We'll have the highlights and performance later on in sports.
Thanks, Renee. And Charles will be in with weather. Charles, the end of November and still no snow?
Yeah, Brett, it's been awfully difficult to get into the Christmas spirit with no snow on the ground. And if you haven't climbed up on the roof to get the lights up yet, you're going to want to do it soon. With that in mind, let's take a look at our current conditions. Right now, it's partly cloudy and -2 in the city, but stick around. I'll be back with all of your weather details later in the show.
Thanks, Charles. The population has increased, and so have violent crimes in the Wheat City. In the first 10 months of this year, as compared to the same January to October stretch in 2008, the rate of crime overall is up more than 12%. What's most disturbing is that sexual offenses increased by 50%, and the number of assaults jumped by 42%, according to statistics from the Brandon Police Service. While the news is certainly not good, police say it's not unexpected given the upswing in the citizenry over the past while. And they said the crimes are not random. Usually the offenders know their victims. Rural municipal politicians are expected to vote today on whether they would support a school of medicine at Brandon University. Deborah Poff, president of the university, told a meeting at the Association of Manitoba Municipalities that if rural politicians want such a school, they have to send a message to the provincial government. The idea for the school surfaced a year ago when a grassroots group in western Manitoba raised concerns about a lack of doctors and the closure of medical facilities in rural areas of the province. Vic Taves told municipal leaders that we are seeing early signs of economic recovery due to the investment from the Economic Action Plan when he spoke at the Association of Manitoba Municipalities in Brandon. However, even with the apparent progress, Ottawa must stay the course and have no new major expenditures on the next budget. Taves also says Manitoba is receiving unprecedented infusions of federal financial support, noting we will receive roughly $3.6 billion this year, nearly 40% of total budgetary revenues. Municipalities are now also receiving gas tax rebates from Ottawa. Manitoba is going ahead with enhanced driver's licenses in the new year, despite opposition criticism that the move is poorly thought out and a waste of money. Conservative leader Hugh McFadden said Monday that few Manitobans have bothered to buy the enhanced ID card introduced early this year, at a cost to Manitoba public insurance so far of $14 million. The card, which can be purchased for $50, is cheaper than a passport and acceptable as ID at the U.S. border. However, only 8,000 have been issued in Manitoba, which McFadden says works out to a cost of more than $1,700 per card. He said the government should honor the cards already issued, but scrap the program and abandon plans to come out with an enhanced driver's license in the new year. Andrew Swan, minister responsible for MPI, said the government has no intention of doing that. There's bad news for Elkhorn Resort and Ranch. The Clear Lake tourist attraction has been fined $170,000 for misleading advertising. The Competition Bureau says the company ran contests without fair disclosure on the odds of winning and without ensuring that the winners of the contests were random. The Bureau says Elkhorn's contests gave a misleading impression about the grand prize, supposedly a brand new SUV. But the real prize was a 2-year lease on an SUV with strict conditions attached. Elkhorn has property in Clear Lake, Canmore, and Panorama, BC. Food, fun, and festivities are a big part of the holiday season every year. Fortunately, no matter how much they indulge, folks will have a way to get home safely, and it can even be free of charge. Westman Newsline's Brent Harder reports.
Although the weather may not feel like it, Christmas is just around the corner. And as has been the case for the last 15 years in Brandon, Operation Red Nose will be along for the ride. The organization, whose goal is to ensure partygoers return home safe and sound during the holidays, officially opened up their 2009 campaign on Friday at City Hall. Having had access to the service for a decade and a half, Brandonites have become grateful for all that Operation Red Nose does.
Volunteers are not only giving a very good service to the community, but also it's a fantastic fundraiser as well. This is all donated back to the community in one way or the other, and very much appreciate the volunteers that keep coming forward every year.
With people always being excited to celebrate the holidays, keeping tabs on drunk drivers can be a nearly impossible task. Brandon police are happy that the streets will be kept safer.
This just gives them that other alternative that's available to them to make that decision to call Red Nose and get themselves and their friends and their vehicle home safe and sound.
The only stipulation to help out is that you must be 18 years old and have a valid driver's license. Operation Red Nose will begin giving rides November the 27th, and spokesman Gladden Smith says it is easy to volunteer.
First of all, they've got to get their application filled out. We have to do a criminal background check, so that takes a little bit of time. They must be 18 years or older and have a valid driver's license.
There is little question that Operation Red Nose is important to the residents of Westman, as last year over 570 rides were provided by the service. For more information, you can call 728-NOSE or drop by their office at 6A First Street. For Westman Newsline with photographer Jeremy Zenz, I'm Brent Harder.
And with the spending season of the year in full swing, let's take a look at where money markets are sitting.
For all your local news, weather, and sports coverage, watch Westman Newsline. Broadcasting from Assiniboine Community College on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 o'clock.
While the big party takes place in the summer, there's likely been a fair bit of whooping and hollering already in Dauphin, since it took less than one day to sell out the 2010 edition of Country Fest. Tickets for the 21st installment of Dauphin's signature musical event went on sale yesterday, and it didn't take long for the available 12,000 tickets to be snapped up. The event's main attraction will be legendary performers Brooks and Dunn, who will be on their farewell tour. Also scheduled to perform are Miranda Lambert and Terry Clark. The event runs from July 1st to the 4th. The federal Conservatives are preparing a counterattack to explosive accusations about prisoner abuse in Afghanistan. The counterattack will include a highly anticipated appearance at a Commons committee tomorrow by former Chief of Defense Staff General Rick Hillier. He was ultimately responsible for Canada's mission in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, the Liberals and New Democrats are demanding a look at all government documents relevant to the torture of Afghan detainees before they can question witnesses at the committee. A key witness expected at the committee is David Mulrooney, a then senior Canadian official accused of trying to suppress information about the treatment of detainees. Mulrooney has flown back to Canada from Beijing, where he is Canada's ambassador to China, and is asking to testify on Thursday. Stéphane Dion's wife may be unhappy with the Liberal Party and the man who replaced her husband as party leader. But Dion remains an unwavered supporter of Michael Ignatieff. At least that's what Ignatieff said yesterday following Janine Krieber's weekend Facebook posting. Dion's wife slammed Ignatieff as an intellectual dilettante who is incapable of pulling the party out of what she deems its death spiral. Krieber also hinted she's thinking of switching allegiance to another party. Ignatieff wouldn't comment directly on her comments, but he said Dion himself has assured him of his support. Calling Dion a colleague and friend, Ignatieff said the former Liberal leader has given him absolutely magnificent support throughout his leadership. A spokesman for Dion said the former leader won't comment on his wife's tirade, but he stressed that Dion has always been loyal to his leaders and his party, and he always will be. There was a sharp jump in the number of Canadians receiving employment insurance benefits in September. Statistics Canada says the number of beneficiaries increased by more than 54,000 over August, or 7.1%. The hike follows 2 months of declines. The largest increases were in Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia. In the largest ever recall of cribs in North America, more than 2.1 million Canadian-made drop-side baby beds are being recalled in the U.S. and in this country following reports of 4 infant suffocations. The cribs were made by Stortcraft Manufacturing of British Columbia. This is not the first time Stortcraft has recalled one of its crib products. In January, it worked with Health Canada to voluntarily call back cribs made between 2000 and 2008 because metal brackets used to support the mattress frame could crack if they were installed incorrectly. People are advised to get rid of drop-side cribs or order kits from the manufacturer to immobilize crib sides. And that's all for news. Stay tuned though, Charles is up next with Newsline Weather.